The New Democratic Party, a constant presence in the grand Canadian political opera. But why should we care about this troupe of idealists, these champions of the underdog? Because, dear viewer, their story, much like a well-crafted play, is full of drama, intrigue, and the occasional triumphant curtain call. It's a story of fighting for the little guy, of grand social programs, and of a persistent belief in a fairer, more just Canada. So buckle up as we delve into the history of the NDP from its humble beginnings to its present-day incarnation. Picture the 1930s, if you will, a time when the world was grappling with unprecedented economic challenges. The Great Depression, a global economic hurricane, leaves devastation in its wake, affecting millions of lives and livelihoods. Canada, young and vulnerable, is caught in the storm's fury, with its citizens facing immense hardships and uncertainty. Out of this turmoil, from the windswept prairies of Saskatchewan emerges a new political force, the Cooperative Commonwealth Federation, CCF, determined to bring change. A coalition of farmers, labourers and intellectuals, the CCF dared to dream of a different Canada, one built on principles of equality and fairness. Their vision? A nation where everyone had a fair shot, where social programs acted as safety nets, and where the gap between the haves and have-nots was bridged by compassion and common sense. They envisioned a society where no one was left behind. The CCF, with its socialist leanings, was considered radical by some, challenging the status quo and traditional power structures. Yet its message of social justice resonated with many Canadians, particularly those hit hardest by the Depression, who were desperate for hope and change. They championed public health care, unemployment insurance and pensions, ideas considered outlandish at the time, but which would later become cornerstones of Canadian society, transforming the social landscape. The CCF, in essence, planted the seeds for what would become the modern Canadian welfare state, laying the groundwork for a more equitable and just society. Their legacy continues to influence Canadian policies and values to this day. Fast forward to 1961. The CCF, though influential, struggled to break through on the federal stage. A bold move was needed, a reinvention. Enter the Canadian Labour Congress, CLC, a powerful force representing Canadian workers. Together, they saw an opportunity to create a united front for social democratic values. And so, in a momentous merger, the New Democratic Party, NDP, was born. This new party inherited the CCF's social conscience and combined it with the organizational might of the CLC. It was a potent mix. The NDP, from its inception, positioned itself as the champion of working Canadians, advocating for their rights, their welfare, and their futures. No longer just a prairie protest party, the NDP was ready to take on the national stage. Every good story needs a hero, and the NDP found theirs in Tommy Douglas, a man whose legacy would forever change the face of Canadian healthcare. A Baptist minister with the fiery conviction of an Old Testament prophet, Douglas became the party's first federal leader, bringing with him a vision of a more equitable society. He was a charismatic orator, a tireless campaigner, and a man deeply committed to social justice, always striving to make life better for the common people. Under his leadership, the NDP achieved its most significant victory, the implementation of universal healthcare in Canada, a monumental step towards social equality. It all began in Saskatchewan, where Douglas served as premier, laying the groundwork for what would become a nationwide movement. In 1962, his government introduced Medicare, a publicly funded healthcare system that provided universal coverage to all citizens, regardless of their financial status. Despite fierce opposition from doctors, insurance companies, and even some within his own party, Douglas stood firm, unwavering in his commitment to his vision. Medicare, he argued, was not just about healthcare. It was about social justice, about creating a fairer society for everyone. It was about ensuring that all citizens, regardless of their income, had access to quality healthcare, a fundamental right in a just society. His vision, though controversial at the time, would transform Canada's social fabric and become a source of national pride, a testament to the power of determined leadership and unwavering principles. Orange Wave on the West Coast, the NDP and provincial governments. The NDP's success wasn't confined to the federal level. Across the country, they made significant inroads provincially, particularly in British Columbia. In 1972, in a stunning victory, the NDP, led by Dave Barrett, formed the government in British Columbia. This marked a turning point for the party, proving that they could govern effectively and implement their progressive agenda. The Barrett government, though short-lived, was a whirlwind of activity. They introduced groundbreaking legislation in areas such as environmental protection, labor rights, and social services. They created the Agricultural Land Reserve, protecting valuable farmland from development. They established public auto insurance and increased the minimum wage. The Barrett government, in its brief tenure, demonstrated that the NDP could translate its ideals into tangible policies that improved the lives of ordinary people. A powerful voice in Ottawa, the NDP's influence on federal politics. While the NDP has yet to form a government at the federal level, their impact on Canadian politics has been profound. They have consistently played the role of conscience of Parliament, advocating for progressive causes and holding the government accountable for its actions. Their influence can be seen in many of the social programs Canadians hold dear, from universal healthcare to old age security. The NDP has been a vocal advocate for environmental protection, pushing for stronger regulations on polluters and investments in renewable energy. They have championed the rights of marginalized communities, fighting for LGBTQ+ equality, Indigenous rights, and disability rights. Their unwavering commitment to social justice has helped shape Canada's political landscape, pushing the conversation forward on issues that matter most to Canadians. Following in the footsteps of giants like Tommy Douglas, a succession of leaders have carried the NDP banner. Ed Broadbent, with his calm demeanour and intellectual heft, led the party through the turbulent 1980s, establishing them as a credible force in federal politics. Alexa McDonough, the first woman to lead a major federal party in Canada, brought a renewed focus on social justice issues and women's rights. Jack Layton, with his infectious enthusiasm and unwavering optimism, connected with Canadians on a personal level, leading the party to its most successful electoral performance in its history. These leaders, each in their own way, have left an indelible mark on the NDP and on Canadian politics. They have inspired generations of activists and politicians, reminding them that it is possible to fight for a better world and to make a real difference in the lives of ordinary people. The NDP's journey has not been without its challenges. They have consistently faced an uphill battle against the two dominant parties in Canadian politics, the Liberals and the Conservatives. Often squeezed between the two, the NDP has struggled to maintain a distinct identity and to convince voters that they are a viable alternative. Funding has also been a persistent issue. Unlike the Liberals and Conservatives, who benefit from the support of wealthy donors and corporations, the NDP relies heavily on small donations from its members and supporters. This financial disadvantage has often limited their ability to compete on an equal footing, particularly during election campaigns. In 2017, Jagmeet Singh made history by becoming the first person of colour to lead a major federal party in Canada. His election as NDP leader marked a new chapter for the party, one that reflects the changing face of Canada. Singh, with his youthful energy and progressive vision, has sought to broaden the party's appeal, particularly among young people and minority groups. He has championed issues such as affordable housing, pharmacare and electoral reform, positioning the NDP as the party of change. His leadership has brought a renewed sense of hope and optimism to the party, but it remains to be seen whether he can translate this into electoral success. The New Democratic Party, from its humble beginnings on the Canadian prairies, has evolved into a significant force in Canadian politics, influencing policies and shaping debates. They have championed the causes of working people, fought for social justice, and played a pivotal role in shaping Canada's social safety net, ensuring that no Canadian is left behind. Their legacy can be seen in the many social programs that Canadians rely on, from universal healthcare to old age security. As the NDP looks to the future, they face both challenges and opportunities in a rapidly changing world. They must find a way to connect with voters in an increasingly polarized political landscape and continue to champion progressive causes while also addressing the economic anxieties of Canadians, ensuring financial stability for all. And they must do all of this while staying true to their core values of social justice, equality, and solidarity, fostering a sense of community and belonging. The NDP's journey is far from over, with many more milestones to achieve. They remain a vital voice for change, a beacon of hope for those who believe in a fairer, more just Canada, striving for a brighter future for all.